Hey everyone, well then, time to up the irons, because it's a whole video devoted to Dave Murray, Adrian Smith, and Iron Maiden. Recently posted a quick and easy Iron Maiden intro tutorial to Rainmaker, and one of my subscribers commented and said, "You need to do more Iron Maiden on your channel." And I thought, yes, you're goddamn right. I most definitely do need to do more Iron Maiden on my channel. So here we are. That said, apologies for the lack of uploads in the past week or two. There was a heck of a lot of guitar parts to learn, practice, and tighten up for this one video alone, and it took ages to put it all together. Plus, you know, I have a full-time job that I have to go to every day as well. So then, quick preamble time before we dig in. Now, if you could list just 5 things that quintessentially say Iron Maiden, the list would usually go something like this. 1. Steve Harris and his thunderous galloping bass lines. 2. Bruce Dickinson's air raid siren vocals. 3. The epic 8 to 15 minute long tracks that grace nearly every album. 4. Eddie and the whole image that the band created around him. And finally, 5, and most important to the topic at hand, the dual guitar harmonies of Dave Murray and Adrian Smith. Sorry, Yannick, but in this video, when I speak on this topic, we're going back to that incredible run of 5 albums that the band released in the 80s, between Number of the Beast and Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. When it was only Dave Murray and Adrian Smith on guitar. But to be even more specific, the band's fantastic 1984 album, Powerslave. Now, initially, this video was to be a top 10 Iron Maiden guitar harmonies list, pulled from their entire body of work. However, as the list started to take shape, it turned out that half of my picks ended up being from one sole album. Powerslave, of course. So I thought, hell, let's just do Powerslave and be done with it. Because arguably, more time, effort, and work was put into the intricate guitar harmonies on this one album than any other Maiden release. So it's well deserving of its own focus and attention in one video. And in this video, I'm going to do my absolute damnedest to recreate each and every one of them. So without further ado, let's up the irons and have a look at track 1, side 1 from Powerslave, Aces High. Now, Aces High hits you straight out of the gate with the guitar harmonies. And in the process, Dave and Adrian create one of the most memorable and iconic of all the great and famous Iron Maiden intros. It's certainly in the top 5, and I think that few will disagree with that assessment. This is the famous harmony guitar intro to Aces High, track 1, side 1 from Powerslave.
We shall never surrender.
Alright then, moving on to track 2 from Powerslave, 2 Minutes to Midnight. The only track on the album without any guitar harmonies to really speak of. They do harmonize a few lines within the solo, but it's not significant enough to warrant mention here. So we'll just move on to track 3 and the instrumental Losfer Words, Big Orra. Now, the harmony lines in Lost for Words is a simple harmonized melodic break that kind of serves as the chorus to this one, and occurs twice within this track. Nothing overly groundbreaking with this one, but it has a nice enough melody, and it is a longer harmony part, so we will include it. Let's give it a listen. This is Lost for Words, Big Orra. Good then, onward to track 4 and Flash of the Blade. Arguably the most prolonged and intricate guitar harmonies Dave and Adrian ever put down. At one point in this, there's 2 guitar harmonies playing over 2 other and very different guitar harmonies. Just incredible. An absolute standout with regards to their long history of intertwining guitar parts. Were I putting these Maiden harmonies in more of a countdown format rather than track by track like I'm doing, this one would be very near the top of the list. Some amazing harmonic inventiveness here on this one. Regardless, let's give a listen to the harmonies from Flash of the Blade. Good then, track 5, the Duellists. Now, the middle 3 or 4 tracks on Powerslave tend to get overlooked to some degree because the album is bookended by such classic tracks as Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, the title track, and of course Rime of the Ancient Mariner. However, as far as guitar harmonies go, and general great playing all around from the boys, this is where the real meat of the album is. The Duelist has a very long instrumental break right in the middle of it, just chock full of guitar harmonies, and it's absolutely glorious to listen to. One of the finest instrumental sections the band has ever done. Though a bit more subdued and laid back than the harmonies in Flash of the Blade, Adrian and Dave weave some absolute gorgeous melodies between them with, I think, 4 or 5 different melodic changes throughout the instrumental break, all the while adding more and more guitars to the harmonic mix. It's just brilliant stuff. Now, for continuity purposes, so the whole thing flows, I'm going to include the solos as well for this one. However, they were rather quickly learned, so don't expect perfection for the solo-y bits. I gave each solo about an hour of effort each to learn and to practice. They're pretty good. Regardless, let's check out the harmony guitar section to the Duellists. All right, then, track 6, Back in the Village. The first thing I have to say about Back in the Village is that it has one of my all-time favorite opening Iron Maiden guitar riffs. That riff by Adrian absolutely kills. But with that said, the harmony guitars on this one pretty much completely take over the solo section of the song. Stopping, starting, bobbing, weaving in and out with each other, giving each guitarist a moment to shine in their own before picking up the harmonies again for a few more measures, all before the vocals eventually re-emerge from the fray for the final verse. Just more great guitar work from the underrated middle of Powerslave, and I had great fun picking it all apart. It's one of those harmony parts that when you sit down to learn it, you think, damn, it's got to be easier than this. You know, I think I'm overcomplicating this. Nope. This one's actually more complicated to play than it sounds. They're playing this reverse pedal lick off the D string with Dave harmonizing and playing the pedaling notes in the opposite direction of Adrian. It's very cool, really interesting, and the hardest lick of the bunch from this album to get under my fingers comfortably. Just a fantastic and inventive progression of harmonized licks here for sure. Let's give it a listen. These are the harmonies to Back in the Village. Now, track 7 and the title track, Powerslave. At almost 8 minutes in length, surprisingly, there's very little guitar harmonies in this one. Just a quick 20-second refrain after the second solo by Adrian before Dave kicks in with the third solo. Few harmonies, but there are 3 guitar solos, mind you, that rank among Dave and Adrian's very best. But since this video is all about the harmonies, we'll skip the solos to this one and just give a listen to the harmonic break in the middle. Let's check it out. Well then, let's finish up with, and you don't need me to tell you this, the epic and utterly outstanding classic Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Now, at nearly 14 minutes in length, one would assume that there would be a harmony guitar break at some point in this one, and of course, you would be correct in that assumption. After a couple of stellar guitar solos, the boys settle into just a lovely melodic harmony break, changing up the harmonies a few times here and there before finally bringing this one home with the final verse. Some pretty simple and straightforward harmony in third, thirds with this one, as most Iron Maiden harmonies are. In thirds, that is, not simple and straightforward. And as per usual, they throw in one more harmony layer on top, just to add a little more juice to the mix. Thankfully, after working on this video for the last 10 days or so and learning all these guitar parts and getting all these guitar harmonies practiced and tightened up, it was nice to get a rather easy one to finish up with. The Duellists and Back in the Village wore me out heading into this one. Regardless, let's close this one out with the harmony parts to Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I hope you enjoy. Well then, that will just about do it. I think I've covered every harmonic guitar part on Iron Maiden's classic Powerslave album. Certainly hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button. Drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already. That would be awfully nice. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload something new. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we will see you next time. Cheers, and up the irons.